We have a real treat for you this afternoon. In the shape and substance of Dr. Alexander Petrovich Dubrov, who I truly can say is one of the best mad scientists in Russia. The only reason I dare say that is that I've known Alex for 20 years. We met at the first meeting of the International Association for Psychotronics Research. Do you all know what psychotronics is? Well, let's put it this way. If electronics means moving something around with electrical force, psychotronics means moving something around with nothing more than mental intent. Consider that for a moment. That's all part of dowsing, of course, isn't it? And radionics. Do you all know what radionics is? How many know what radionics? Put up your hands. Well, half the room. Well, we know that in the reception mode, radionics is merely a dowsing technique, and you don't need the box. And in the transmission mode, well, it's something else, but it requires the intent of an operator. That's the big mystery in all these things we consider, the intent and the power of intent. Dr. Dubrov is a biophysicist and so learned that he has 2, not 1 doctorate. He just kept on studying and studying. And he has written a number of books, about 8, of which at least half or 4 have been translated to English. One of the first ones was called The Geomagnetic Field and Life, which was all about the effects of Earth's magnetism on living organisms. He did primary work on that about 12, 15, 18 years ago. And recently, I find this amazing. How many people were at the Dubrov seminar this afternoon here in this audience? Well, only 1 or 2. Okay, that's good. I find it amazing that recently Dr. Dubrov has not only been on Moscow television in prime time over the nation, talking about such things as geopathogenic zones, but also he has written a little booklet in Russian for his compatriots to read in Russia on geopathogenic zones. And that came out a few weeks ago in Moscow, and believe it or not, he has sold 150,000 copies of that booklet. Now, what I don't understand, being an American, and this may apply to those of you here who are Britishers, is how come such topics are able to occupy primetime space on national television in such a country as Russia, and a booklet on geopathogenic zones and their importance is able to sell 150,000 copies. By the way, there's 50,000 going to be more copies being printed right now. Whereas in the United States, I'm not talking for Britain, such a subject as geopathogenic zones wouldn't stand a snowball's chance in hell in getting on national TV. And I believe we'd be lucky, any of us who wrote such a pamphlet in the English language, possibly to sell 3,000 copies throughout the whole of the United States. So something's going on in the consciousness or the mind of people in the Slavic countries that just hasn't awakened in the Anglo-Saxon world. I don't know why it is. Maybe some of you know the reasons. Anyway, now that I've bored you enough with what I've got to say, it's my very great pleasure to introduce the first Russian not the first Russian professor, yes, the first Russian professor to come to England to talk about dowsing. Let us welcome Alexander Dubrov.
Cordially thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, first of all, I should like to express my cordially thanks my long-year friend Christopher Baird for his beautiful help in preparing my report now. Chris Baird translate my Russian text in perfectly English for you especially. Thank you, Chris. Ladies and gentlemen, now my translation is about present state of biolocation in Russia and the Commonwealth independent state and its development. I note three themes: the overall interdepartment commission, the founding of association, scientific and practical research, training, publication, and perspectives. Small introduction for you. Biolocation has long been known in Russia. In the 19th century, Empress Katerina II issued a proclamation on the inclusion of the dowsing rod in the coat of arms of the city of Petrozavodsk. It is a unique case when emperors decide include a coat of arms heraldic signs. It is unique case in Russia. Biolocation began actively to develop starting in 1960. In Ministry of Geology of USSR, influenced by multiple instances of dowsing, use carry out of biolocation's operator, it is Russian term of dowsers, in various regions of Soviet Union.
You got that in Russia, you got that dowsing is called biolocation, and a dowser is a biolocator. I don't think there's any better term than a dowser, but there you go.
Yeah, we use a special term, not dowser, operator of biolocations. It is scientifics. These meetings laid the basis for official recognition of biolocation in our country. The first all-union seminar of biolocation took place in 1968 in Moscow. To give idea of this scale as standard of this meeting in our country, let us consider what was accomplished at only a few of them. In April 1988, in Tomsk, Siberia, Russia, interdisciplinary school seminar was held on theme non-periodic, fast-acting phenomena in surrounding environment. It was attended by 400 participants, and included 24 papers on biolocations among different domains of science, different disciplines. In February 1980, in Kiev, Ukraine, there took place the first all-Ukrainian seminar on theme biolocation in geology. Our 200 participants came from all over the country. 200 participants with strong scientific, with FIDE, professor, doctor, technical, geologist, and medical doctor. So, 15 papers addressed questions of the use of biolocation in geological engineering and the search of underground mineral ores, petroleum, and so on. In October 98, in Moscow, there was held the all-union scientific technical seminar on problem geopathogenic zones. Taking part in the work of the seminar were 268 participants from 18 regions Russia. Among these were 12 doctors and 78 candidates of science. It is equal in USA FIDE specialist. And also scientists from Bulgaria, Hungary, Finland, Switzerland, USA, and other countries. So, professionals represent in this seminar were geologists, geophysicists, geochemists, physicians, ecologists, radioelectronic engineer, and so on. In April, in Tomsk, the third International Interdisciplinary Scientific Technical School took place, attended 280 participants. In 10 papers on biolocation were presented. Now, in Pre-Baltic, in August month this year, will be held a new seminar. Allow me give you some part from this schedule. Earth International Seminar in Riga, Latvia, named Earth's Fields and Their Influence on Organism. Some reports. Dr. Kalnins from Latvia Institute of Physics, Latvia Academy Science, high level. Activities of Baltic Dozers Association in Latvia. Another Valdmanis, electromagnetic field as exciter of biolocation effects, and also very interesting report in 1940, coffee breaks. You see? So, other reports on this Latvia seminar in August month, present state and perspective of biolocation method in geological investigation in Estonia. And also, for my opinion, very interesting report, Krauklis, the dynamic of vertebrals asymmetry of doser during the forming of dosing test. And conclusion, psychometrical search of oil source by map. It is very interesting report in Baltic Doser Association. So, we go to these examples indicate the extent and high level at which theoretical and experimental work on biolocation is being pursued in Russia in the Commonwealth independent state. Allow me some notes about role of interdepartment commission. In the organization of these school seminars, meetings, a great contribution has been made by Interdepartmental Commission on the problem of biolocation at its president Nikolai Sochivanov. It is Dean our dozers. Chris, some works about Interdisciplinary Commission for our participants.
This is very interesting as way. In 1968, at the initiative of a leading geologist in the Ministry of Geology in the Soviet Union, Nikolai Nikolaevich Sochivanov, there was formed in the Soviet Union a so-called interdisciplinary commission for dowsing, which meant that what it really meant was it set up throughout the huge nation and all the republics of the Soviet Union a clearinghouse of information on dowsing and the work that was being done in dowsing that swept right across the academic disciplines from geology and mineralogy and on into physics and so on. So anything that was done nationwide in dowsing was being filed for reference, and you could get it's a very valuable file that was put on there. Now, what's happened since the breakup of the Soviet Union into nations that used to be its republics, I cannot say. But I think it's unique in the sense that this is the only country in the world where we had that kind of a centralized information source.
Thank you for comment, Chris. Thank you so much. So, over the course of the 25 years of Commission existence, there has been steady growth in the number of participants at meetings, the numbers of members of Commission itself, and so on. Today, at this meeting in York, we can congratulate our Russian dozers, colleague in Russia, in Commonwealth, in having reached the silver jubilee in our country, in for having performed an enormous amount of the work during the period. The central office, this commission, 8 persons, located in Moscow. The commission itself is made up approximately 100 persons, of which 50 are resident in Moscow, other in region and country. Second of 2, founding of association. In 1980, after great change in life of our country, after perestroika, number of association, commission, and regional center were founded. The first of all, the Interregional Association for Biolocation. Second, Ukrainian Interregional Association for Biolocation. The Association for Biolocation Engineering. The Siberian Scientific Research Center for Study Anomalous Phenomena in the Environment. A 5, Commission for Applied Biolocation. The Baltic Association of Biolocators. The Baikal in Siberia Group for Biolocation. The Council for Dowsing Instructor. And some commercial cooperative he work in problem geopathic zone in commercial basis. Some question about scientific and practical research in our country. Practical work and results. Biolocation successfully contributes in solving various problems in the national economies in Russia in Commonwealth, in prospecting for deposits of valuable resources, in geological mapping, in geological engineering, in the hydrogeology, in geoecology, and so on. The effectiveness, it is very important to know, pay your attention. The effectiveness of the use of biolocation in the fulfillment of this task is supported by official documents, certifications, issued by government, organization, and institution. These documents are not easy to come by, since the director of this institution issue them only after careful verification. It is very important for work Russian dozers. Saving made through the use of biolocation by dosing, as indicated by documentation, strong documentations, average between 25,000 and 1 million rubles before perestroika, when the exchange rate between dollar and ruble was 1 ruble, only $1. It is very big sum. So, search of water. Results of the use of biolocation in the search of the water can be illustrated with following examples. One of our best operator, engineer in Yutin, Chelyabinsk, Ural Mountain, and 4 his colleagues during the period 1967 and 1978 pinpoint well drilling sites for 1,500 wells, of which 75% delivered a flow approximately 4 cubic meters earth. Only 9% result in dry holes, only 9%. Engineer hydrologist Yogin in Mordovia used biolocation to tap a source water at a depth 122 meters with flow 46 cubic meters per hour to supply a factory making alcoholic spirits. Yes, for alcoholic spirits it's needed fine quality water, gentlemen. Smirnoff vodka, in other vodka, it is best quality only by water quality. So, Dr. Landa's biolocation opened up water-bearing horizon in Buryatia, in Chitinsky regions, which producing a flow 10 cubic meters per hour results in economies ranging from 1,200,000 rubles. It is far beside perestroika. It is big saving. So, search for ore deposits. A few results by way of example. Dowsing have revealed gold-bearing zones. Late, famous our Zolate, now Dowser Vladimir Prokhorov and his colleague Bondarenko. Diamond pipes, Nicholas Sachivanov. Lead silver, a platinum zone, Landa and professor in geochemistry in Buryatia, Kovalevsky. The later sizable thickness, 10 meters, with high metal contents, lead 20%, silver 2 kilograms per ton, with average surrounding contents only 15 milligrams, you see. Gold 2 grams on ton, platinum, palladium, and other. And also, Ukrainian biolocation operator headed by engineer Vasily Stesenko in 1978 worked in 9 regions in Ukraine, made 100 locations over distance 1,000 kilometers. They were prospecting for the tin, copper, mercury, rare metals, fresh water, karst cavities. It is very important for building different in architecture. All of 87% confirm the original prognosis by industrial methods. Archaeology. At the Pecherskaya Lavra, it's monastery of the caves in oldest Kiev, engineer Vasily Stesenko and his team discovered underground passageways 2 meters broad at depth ranging from 20 meters. 100 boreholes, 78% contained the sought for target, while a method to detect the same targets using radio wave instrumentation was much less effectivity, only 25%, but dosing 80%. So, dosers have used biolocation in the express detection of leaks in network of underground municipal heating conduits, Stetenko in Kiev, Teplakov in Moscow, gas pipelines in Turkmenia, oil pipelines, Bondarenko and other, electric cable network, Professor Yeroshenko. It is a famous profession, academic science in Institute of Electrical Science in Moscow. The USSR and Ukrainian ministries for energy and Moscow Regional Directorate for Energy have organized special training courses to train personnel, and this use dosing rod for locating bricks in underground electrical cables. It is a special course for this purpose. Along with such large-scale projects, dosers have performed more finely tuned tasks. For instance, in the dam of the hydroelectrical station on Ural, extremely small cracks were suspected but could not be detected by any known means. Very thin, very small. But dosers were able accurately to pinpoint him what Dowsing wrote. Another interesting example. In the village of Nakabino, near Moscow, a highway was being widened. It was found that due to increasing traffic, it was settling. Dowsing showed that under the road bed there were located fissures and holes in which boxes containing explosives had been placed during World Second. You see, only by Dowsing we find these explosives. There are only a few examples of the many interesting and could say unique things being done by our biolocation operators. Of great interest, too, is the fact that our Dowsing do a lot of their work in cooperation and in conjunction with geophysical, gravio, magneto, seismo, electro detection, and biogeochemical methods of search. This work has been done, for instance, Dr. Fidel Landa, a professor above mentioned, Alexander Kovalevsky, in the gold-bearing zones in Buryatia, where they have shown the biolocation and biogeochemistry have resulted in more accurate data than any provided by electronic instrumentation. And Dr. Shekunov concludes that geophysical and biolocational methods go hand in hand, working to supplement each other, and that in this connection, effectivity of biolocation attains up to 90–100%. Our dosers have shown that biolocation used in geological prospecting can be performed by those working in moving automobiles and other land vehicles and shipboard, if from airplanes, a helicopter. Different work made by our Dowsing, and also, Chris, by tank in your Dowsing. So, some remarks about theoretical research. Very interesting research done by our Dowser and scientists has been focused on the explanation and understanding of the fundamental basis of biolocation. Many different opinions and views on the nature of this phenomena and this mechanism have been advanced. I show to you only one slide. Why don't work? Oh, you see? On this, I think it is a very small slide. They're using biolocation in Russia. Biolocation, left, ecology, medicine, geology, archaeology, rescue team. In left, ecology, agriculture, industry. It is very interesting. It is undefined object. You see? Construction. Architecture.
Unidentified flying out.
Yes, sir. Medicine, diagnostic of disease, test of medicine, testing of drugs, geology, search, oil, ore, mapping, mine survivor, SIG geology, water underground, biolocation survey, archaeology, excavation. Only now we saw Bob Humphrey's report about excavation. Also Russian specialists make this work. Sculpture, church graves, and so. Risk term, search of people is objects. So.
He forgot to mention the buried treasures, but they're keeping that secret.
In my own opinion, one shared by many colleagues, biolocation is manifestation of human extrasensory capability. Not only biophysical when we come to the Dowsing road, it is human extrasensory ability. One of my book, Christopher, don't mention this book, parapsychology in contemporary science. He was sold in Russia 200,000 exemplars there.
Yes, and this book was published by Penham Press in New York in 1984
Countries.
in America.
In 80 countries. Eight countries. Sweden, Greece.
Wait a minute, we just reduced the number of other countries from 80 to 8.
Will be. It needed. So, however, researchers such as Professor Schmidt and other very skeptics maintain that biolocation is also idiomatoric reaction, involuntary, on the part of human to weak physical fields. According to Alexandrov, the term biolocation is not at all acceptable. It should be replaced with term bioindications, which would more accurately characterize of the essence of phenomena. Mr. Nepomniachtchi from Alma-Ata thinks that dosing should be called psycholocation to reflect the important role played by the brain in psychic phenomena. Our famous researcher Pluzhnikov proposes new terminology: biolocation, analysis of parameter materials; biopelengation, search for directions; bioscanning, details search. It is screening. So, Dr. Landa from Krasnoyarsk bring up in his work the idea of psychometric dosing, a biolocation selective survey using various resonator, medical, ecological biolocation, and other categories. Our researchers have been working up various hypotheses for the basis and mechanism of biolocation, mechanism of dosing: electrostatic, electromagnetic, emission impulse, pulsation, lepton detection, gravitational, biofield, planetocosmic, informational field, global informational field, form fields, extrasensory resonance, my biogravitational hypothesis, ultra-weak interactions. All these hypotheses need experimental verification, but this hypothesis there is many publication. I sent many books about dosing to my friend Christopher Baer in Russian. Many appears in journal American Dosing, you see in our bookstore. A great deal of attention is being paid by our researchers to the problem of geopathogenic zone. So, another direction or angle biolocation in daily life is one taken my assistant Valentina Lebedeva. Now for my workshop I showed a small part of a video cassette about work Lebedeva in daily life, biolocation in daily life, biolocation in housing. So, some remarks about training, publication, and publicity. In response to mounting public interest in biolocation, in a desire to learn its practice, and also with aim of upgrading the qualification as certification of dosing, in 1988, the decision was taken to create the new title, Operator Trainer for Doser. Operator, it is doser, doser of trainer, senior doser. This is a person who have had over 20 years or more of experience are considered qualified to teach biolocation, dosing, to give examination, and issue certificate that allow recipient to carry on independent unsupervised work. At the present time, there are 15 such operator trainers in various regions in Russia in Commonwealth. One of these very quality, famous operator for Lithuania, he, our participant, my friend Vytautas Kapachauskas. Without us. Stand up, I ask you. You see, gentlemen, it is operator trainer. 30 years he operated as a dowsing in Lithuania. It is famous. He published a book about dowsing, about geopathogenic zone in Lithuanian language. It now is Vilnius publishing house. So, training. The best training in biolocation, in dowsing, now take place in the 4 cities. In Kiev, this training is given at the Biologs Center, directed by Stesenka. Biologs is abbreviation Biolocation methods. Biologs. A school which has graduated 400 dozers. It is scientific. It is postgraduate dozing. 400 geologists, doctors and engineering, and so on. The course of the study at this center covers a period of 4 weeks, 6 hours a day. It includes lecture, practical works, 130 hours. It is a big course. It chiefly oriented to raising the qualification of geologists, geophysicists, and geochemists. In Moscow, a school for biolocation operator is directed by president of the Association for Biolocation Engineering, Dr. Vladimir Klopkov, and one of the best known dozers in the world, Alexander Pluzhnikov. It has trained 300 operators in dozers. There is additional beginner course in Moscow given by one of our best known dozer, speleologist Igor Prokofiev. This course has been completed by 500 students. It is a course for beginner. In Tomsk, Siberia, at the Polytechnical University, Professor Alexander Grigorievich Bakirov has over 25 years offered a facultative, optional course in biolocation. This course was officially permitted in 1973 by USSR Ministry of Higher Education. It is a rare case in the world about official permission of those. The course has been taken 500 polytechnicons drawn from various departments of this university. Vytautas Kapaučkas in Lithuania also has many followers in his school in dozing. In St. Petersburg, there is special course by son Nikolai Sechivanov, Valery Sechivanov. In different region of Russia, there is small courses and operator for graduated dozers. Publications. Many articles on biolocation have appeared in the mass media and in prestigious journal in our country. In 1978, member of Institute of Physics, official institute, Latvian Academy of Science, Dr. Valdmanis, Dolacis, Ikanin, published a book, Dowsing, a centuries-old riddle in Riga. In 1982, in Moscow, my own short book, Earth Radiation in Human Health, was published, essay Christopher Baird, 150,000 exemplars. And now, when I come to the London, I sign contract on the double this issue. You see? So big interest our simple people to this problem. It is worth to nothing that our dozens have taken part in many international meetings dealing with dozing, but many of them are not able to attend such meetings due to formal or financial constraints. In order to consolidate forces among all dozers of the world and help them in their work, I have proposed the founding of the International Association of Dozers that can be deal with our common task and problem. this can lead to our making significant progress into solving scientific and practical questions connected with dosing. We have yesterday, 2 days ago, a special session about this problem, about creating creating